The guys a little bit about takeaways from Gonzaga, and it seems like for the most part, not that there was a lack of confidence or anything, but does that just kind of reassert in your players' minds that they can play with anybody when they, are playing their brand of basketball?
I think they felt that way going in, and obviously you're playing in front of an incredible crowd, which I think certainly, lights a spark under you. But, we played some really good basketball for about 32 minutes. We had about an 8-minute stretch where we weren't very good on offense with some of our decisions and shot selection, and they made us pay for it during that 8-minute stretch on defense. So, as a coaching staff, you have to pull out some of the things we did really well. There were some possessions where we were really, really good, and there were some where we made some mistakes. So that'll be our focus this week.
Does it help to have this, no midweek game this week, just to kind of work on yourselves a little bit and not necessarily worry about game plan right away for somebody?
Yeah, it's a rare opportunity for us, and that's really what I presented to the guys on Monday. With only the Nebraska game between Gonzaga and the end of finals week in Green Bay, you just have that one game. So you have the rare opportunity to really work on yourselves, and that's what we spent Monday on. We'll spend a good portion of today on before we'll turn our attention to Nebraska.
What do you look at during that time?
We're trying to clean some of the things up where we're making mistakes. Defensively, we have to get better. There's some young guys that are doing some things well at times, but not all the time. And we need to move closer to all the time as quickly as we can, and then just keep building on our offense. We're doing some really good things on that end. We hung 92 points on a really good defensive team. So I think the potential is there. We just can't lose sight of why those things are working.
How do you feel like your offense matches with the defensive block of Nebraska?
Nebraska's a lead defensively, especially at home. Nobody's been really close to them on their home floor. And, those three seniors in particular, I've known Jim Molinari a long time, and the defense has his handprints all over it from how he coached his teams when he was at Western Illinois, watching those teams play. Nothing's easy. They challenge you at the rim. They're very aggressive on the ball. You get it into the paint, they're going to come swiping at it, try to knock it out of there. So it's a very, very good defensive basketball team, and obviously offensively they've done some good things as well.
Where do you feel like your offense can find some success against them?
Well, we were going to try to get out in transition like we always do, but they're very good at taking away transition offense. And, three-point shot's a big part of what we do, but it's one of the best things they do is make three-point shots difficult. So, something's got to give. So we'll just try to get into a flow and see what happens.
How much does it help, from a fan's perspective, just in terms of the hype is always pretty strong with this game, but knowing both teams are playing well right now, does that add something to it, I guess, for these players maybe when they get into that environment?
Yeah, it's always a fun game for the players, and I think it takes a little away from it when Nebraska's playing two conference games the week of, because obviously those are of utmost importance to them as they would be for us if we were playing two Big East games this week. So, you don't have a week to focus on Creighton, Nebraska, because Nebraska has to worry about Illinois and Minnesota. And so, we've spent our time really focusing on ourselves, and we'll gradually turn our attention to what we think we have to do to be successful against Nebraska. But it's a fun game for the state. I think the fact that when both teams are better, it even makes it more fun.
Would you be interested in playing early conference games like this, like the Big Ten's doing?
I don't like it. I understand why they're doing it. They're playing 20 conference games. You got to play them somewhere, so you have to put them somewhere. But that's why I'm real comfortable with our double round robin 18 league games. It's one thing if you can't get good games, but we had the home and home with Gonzaga. We're going to go to Oklahoma here in a few weeks. We don't have a shortage of good basketball games, so I don't see the need to do that, at least for the league that we're in at this time and with the number that we're at.
How do you feel all these tough games early will help your team in the long run?
Well, I hope they do. They're certainly hard on the coach in the early going. There's a lot of good teams, and after Nebraska, Green Bay's played great basketball this year. So, you hope that when you're playing good teams, it really your weaknesses are exposed, and it forces you to take a look in the mirror and try to fix them. And we haven't had a lot of breathers, so hopefully that'll be the case with us. That we'll just continue to get better as a result of who we're playing.
You probably haven't been able to watch a ton of Big East basketball, but here and there, What have you seen from the league so far? Is it ahead, behind, about where you thought it'd be at this point?
I think it's getting better. I think we had a rough week, the week of the Gavitt games, and then all of a sudden the week of Thanksgiving, we had 4 teams win their tournaments, and you could see improvement across the board with teams across the conference. So the reality of it is it's a young league that's going to get better as the year goes on, and a lot of those good players are going to be back for another year or a year after that. So it's a talented league. It's just right now a lot of our talent's in the younger classes.
Did you see Providence last night, Vince?
I saw the last one.
Like Gonzaga at home, you learn about yourself. You learn a lot about things you want to work on or you need to work on. What did you guys take away from that?
I mean, we took away that. I mean, we're a good team. I mean, it's just that we had an opportunity to play a number 1 team at our home, and I mean we battled, and then just things kind of broke down at the end. I mean, we just found a way to fight throughout the beginning. Just like, they're a really good team, so just being able to have an opportunity to play them was good for us, so we took away a lot.
Do you think that you guys are surprising people right now, knowing what you lost and all the, whether you want to call them unproven commodities or whatever, the new guys? Do you feel like you guys are taking people by surprise a little bit?
I think so. I mean, I think we're still showing people that we can score the ball. I mean, we're putting up high numbers, but just a few more tweaks, and I feel like we'll surprise them even more.
Obviously, Nebraska and Creighton is something that fans around here for sure look forward to.
Yeah.
How about you guys? Do you guys like this game? Is it fun to have that rivalry and be a part of it?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely fun, just going somewhere. I mean, I like the boos. I like the attention that this game gets. So, I mean, it's pretty fun. I know it's a couple guys with a fairly new team, so it's going to be their first time, so it'll be pretty fun.
When you think about this year's Nebraska team, obviously, it's their best team that they've had in a while.
Mm-hmm.
Does that change anything for you guys in terms of your approach? Does that adjust anything in your minds?
I mean, definitely when a team gets better, but, I mean, we're always going to get their best. So, really, regardless of how their team may be, we know that they're going to play their hardest just because it's us. So, I mean, every year that we play them, I feel like they've had their best team, so to say. So, it should be interesting. It should be fun.
How much does it help already playing against the top 25 teams so far this year?
I mean, it helps tremendously, like just your confidence that you know that you can battle with the number 1 team and then have this game right after it. I know at least for me that is a great feeling. I mean, it should give a lot of our guys confidence as well as myself.
They pride themselves a lot on defense. What challenges do they pose to you guys?
One more time, excuse me.
They pride themselves on defense, very defensive-oriented team.
Yeah.
What kind of challenges does that pose to you guys?
I mean, it just shows that we just got to stay ourselves, just stick to the game plan, our scouting report, and know that we have to score the ball, and then as well challenge them as well on our defensive side of the ball. Try to get stops and put stops together versus them as well.
For you personally,
Beat the Huskers. That's the plan. Beat the Huskers.
Facts.
what? I mean, I guess that's true.
Yeah, it's facts.
For you, I mean, you've been really efficient this year. Scoring. Has anything changed for you offensively in terms of your mentality?
Well, respectfully, I mean, I kind of have to disagree. I don't feel like I've been as efficient as I can be. Still trying to work it together. I mean, it's the beginning of the season, but yeah, my mentality has changed. Just trying to be able to find my teammates more open spots. I mean, it's just being a third-year point guard. I mean, it's just, there's going to be bumps along the way, but I mean, we're still pushing, and it's a lot more ahead. I mean, we're just at the beginning of it. That's all I can really say right now.
How good did that dunk feel against Gonzaga?
I mean, it felt amazing just to have a momentum. I mean, everything just shifted. It felt like a high school day. I mean, that's how it was a regular back then. So I kind of felt like a 16-year-old bouncy kid again.
I got a nice mean mug from you after the dunk there, too. I'll have to show you later.
Yeah, that felt good. I got to see it.
You said you guys still aren't clicking, or you're not as efficient as you can be, but you guys are still one of the top scoring offenses in the country.
Yeah.
What do you feel like the ceiling could be for this team?
Right now, for us, I feel like we could be a team that can, have a really good postseason run. A team that can do well in the Big East. I mean, definitely not number 9. So, I don't feel like there's a ceiling right now for us. We as hard as we work on this court and the practice and film with the coaches, I mean, we can go as far as we want.
Has that driven this team a little extra? The fact that you guys were preseason ranked number 9 in the Big East.
I think it has. It really has, and doubt is one amazing thing. I mean, it just motivates you, and it definitely motivates me. And I feel like that same energy just spreads through our team, and that's the type of approach we have to have, and that's what's actually going to help us. Appreciate it.
Talking a little bit about Davion, but what do you guys take away from that matchup with Gonzaga? What do you learn about yourselves? Do you prove anything to yourselves in a game like that?
Yeah, we proved that we're capable of playing with the teams that are obviously in the top of the country. And I mean, for 30 minutes or 35 minutes, we played with them, and then we just fell off. We had a couple bad lapses in the second half that really cost us the game. So if we just clean up some of that stuff on the defensive end, and offensively our execution just gets better, then I think going forward we'll be a pretty tough team to beat down the stretch.
When you look at now having a week to kind of bounce back and look at yourselves and work on things before, not having a midweek game, how much does that help, just kind of fine-tuning things at this point in the year?
Yeah, it helps a lot. Obviously, like you said, there's a lot of takeaways from the Gonzaga game, and there's a lot of takeaways from what we've been doing, and hopefully we can implement it in practice and figure out and clean the things up we need to clean up on defense. And it also helps from an opponent standpoint because they have a game tonight, so they're preparing for Minnesota, and we're preparing for them already. So hopefully we can gain an edge in that category, and hopefully use it to our advantage going forward when we go into their place.
How much does it change things this year that they're a ranked team, they're maybe the favorite being at home in terms of fans' minds? Is that different at all, considering you guys have handled them pretty well in this series?
All the numbers and everything, I don't think that's a big deal to us. I mean, we don't really care. Obviously, the fans and everything, look at that. They look at who percentages and who's going to win. But at the end of the day, it's just whoever plays better basketball that day. So hopefully we can do what we need to do to execute a game plan, and then we'll live with the end result. But hopefully we can keep the streak going no matter what their rankings are on the road or whatever. So
do you feel like it adds anything to this rivalry, knowing that they obviously, they're nationally ranked right now. You guys have been nationally ranked as well. I mean, both teams are playing well this time of year. It's got to add a little bit of extra to this matchup, right?
Right. I think it adds a lot to the people watching. I think it's good for the state of Nebraska. Honestly, Nebraska basketball looks pretty good right now. Obviously, hopefully we can jump into that top 25 later in the season. They can stay in there, but I think it adds a little bit of heat to it, just because we're two of the better teams in the country if we're in the grand scheme of things. So I think that adds a little bit to us and a little bit to them. Plus, the rivalry is just in-state, so it's been good for the last 10 years. So we'll see how it goes.
One more.
They're a pretty strong defensive team, just as far as with how well you guys have been clicking on offense. Where do you feel like you guys have your strengths in this game?
We haven't watched really much film yet. Just know what they're from last year. They haven't lost many people, and obviously they have that chemistry, and they're not really picking the ball up in a new place like we are. So I think that might be an advantage for them, but at the end of the day, just doing what we do and playing how we play. I think that is our advantage because our speed and the way our pace to the game, hopefully we can wear them out on the defensive end and make stuff difficult for them to stop. So if we do that, then all the other stuff comes together on the defensive end, and hopefully we'll come out with a win.
Thanks, man.